Imagine a legendary hitman, so feared that merely mentioning his name would send shivers down the spine of the underworld. Sakamoto, a name once synonymous with swift death and deadly precision. But everything changed when he met a woman at the checkout counter of a supermarket. He fell in love, retired, got married, had a child, and Sakamoto became overweight. Now, Sakamoto works as a clerk at the mini-mart he built with his wife. One day, a rude man threatens a little kid who accidentally spilled ink on his clothes. But Sakamoto swiftly grabs the man's hand and disables him in an instant, only to snap out of it, realizing it was all just his imagination. He now restrains himself for the sake of his peaceful family life. In the corner of the store stands a man who claims he can see Sakamoto's incredible movements. He is Shin, Sakamoto's former co-worker. Instantly, Sakamoto imagines taking Shin down. Shin's purpose is to persuade Sakamoto to return to his former line of work, but Sakamoto firmly refuses. Even though Shin keeps talking about Sakamoto's extraordinary past, he still declines. As they eat together, Shin tries to light a cigarette, but the cigarette is suddenly sliced. Shin realizes that, fat or not, Sakamoto hasn't lost his touch. But then, many people from the neighborhood start asking Sakamoto for help. At first, Shin suspects that Sakamoto is secretly taking assassination contracts, but after careful observation, he realizes Sakamoto is only helping the community with normal tasks. This disappoints him. As Shin is about to leave, his phone rings. It's his boss, asking if he managed to convince Sakamoto. "Not yet, boss," says Shin. "Then eliminate him. Anyone who leaves the organization must be erased from this world," replies his boss. Shin is now torn between following his role model or obeying his boss. The next day, Shin returns to Sakamoto's store, not to persuade him, but to eliminate him. The fight begins. Shin shoots at Sakamoto, but Sakamoto deflects the bullet with a candy he had been chewing. Sakamoto suddenly vanishes. He hides among the store racks, preparing his weapons, candy and rubber bands. Sakamoto fires a candy at Shin and kicks him unconscious. When Shin wakes up, Sakamoto treats him like a guest, offering fresh clothes and delicious food unlike anything Shin has ever had. At that moment, Shin understands what Sakamoto is protecting every day. Shin returns to his boss's base and pleads for Sakamoto to be spared. The boss refuses. Shin finally rebels, and a battle breaks out. Meanwhile, Sakamoto had secretly hidden a recording device in Shin's clothes and listens to everything. Hearing that Shin is in danger, Sakamoto opens the hidden weapons vault inside his store and heads to Shin's location. Sakamoto arrives just in time as Shin starts getting overwhelmed. One by one, Sakamoto takes them all down. When only the boss and his two guards remain, Sakamoto draws his weapon, effortlessly dodges their bullets, slices through their guns like cutting cake, and incapacitates all three. After everything ends, Shin plans to leave, but Sakamoto hands him an apron and asks him to work at his mini-mart. The next day, Shin starts his new life as a store clerk at Sakamoto's shop. The next day at Sakamoto's store, Shin was now working as an employee. Still impressed by Sakamoto's actions when he saved him, Shin accidentally mentioned that Sakamoto had returned to his former self. Sakamoto's wife overheard and immediately threatened him. If he ever went back to his past job, she would divorce him. Shocked, Sakamoto quickly obeyed his wife. Because of Shin's careless words, Sakamoto got into a bit of trouble and once again imagined eliminating Shin from the world. That day, Sakamoto and Shin went to Chinatown, far from their store, just to buy the heavenly pork buns Sakamoto loved. On their way back, a girl suddenly jumped from a building and landed on Sakamoto, squashing his treasured bun. Shin looked at it and knew there was no saving it. Sakamoto was heartbroken. The girl was being chased by gangsters and was about to be ambushed. She fought them off using Tai Chi techniques, but the overwhelming numbers pushed her into a corner. Suddenly, Sakamoto stood up, grabbed a pair of food tongs, and saved her. Not long after, more gang members arrived with weapons, and the trio, Sakamoto, Shin, and the girl, fled, although Sakamoto was still thinking about his ruined bun. They managed to escape and decided to take the rooftops to leave the area. During the escape, the girl introduced herself as Lu, the daughter of a mafia boss. She was being hunted because of a key in her possession, which led to her family's secret warehouse. Suddenly, one of the gang members delivered a flying kick to Sakamoto's face, launching him back a considerable distance. Shin stepped in to fight, but his punch was effortlessly blocked. Another enemy approached Lu from behind, but in a flash, Sakamoto delivered a blow that sent the attacker crashing into the ground, smashing through the building floor. However, both enemies were tough and stood back up after taking those hits. They launched another attack using their weapons, while Sakamoto defended using only ordinary kitchen tools. He handled them skillfully, eventually pushing them into a corner. Then, they used their ultimate tag team technique to fight Sakamoto, but he dodged every strike flawlessly, though his muscles got slightly pulled. As they prepared to strike again, Sakamoto slammed a metal pan onto the bald one's head, knocking him out and smashed the other's disc weapon with a frying pan. The second attacker turned to Lu, but Shin quickly slammed him down, and Sakamoto finished it with a refrigerator slam. The fight was over. After that, Lu, Shin, and Sakamoto headed to the location of Lu's family warehouse and found the man who had sent the attackers trying to unlock the door. He was shocked to see his men defeated and unconscious. Lu gave him a little lesson, leaving him with a bruised face. She then unlocked the door, revealing the legacy of her family: piles of treasure, books, and strange heirlooms. When everything was settled, they all returned to Sakamoto's store, and Lu became a new employee, tasked with making authentic pork buns for the Sakamoto convenience store.